Warrior. Warrior. Interesting thing about Warrior. One of the reasons why I didn't play, or don't play, much of Warrior is very simply due to the conal part of Overpower, which is, of course, now not a thing. Not an issue. Not a problem. So I'm going to, for a little look at Castrum Meridianum, the new version, I'm going to play as Warrior. I mean, I don't remember how to play as Warrior, so it's a thing. Oh, wait. I don't want to do that. I want to go with duty support, don't I? That was what I was going to do. Who are we going to take with us? Serpent Conjurer, Flame Thaumaturge, Serpent Lancer. That's how I wanted to do it. I was thinking, why is that not popped instantly? It's because you're an idiot, Demajen, is what it is. We'll leave the cutscenes in. I believe we can actually skip them now, can't we? Oh, no. I thought we were going to be able to skip cutscenes in these places. Okay, so what have they changed? Well, first of all, they've changed the... To review, our goal is to deactivate the Magitech field. If you could create a diversion, that's to say, wreak lots of havoc, I'll search for the field generator. Okay. Oh! Yes, must remember it deactivates your buffs once you go into this. Okay, so it's got the same animation in terms of what we actually physically do, but now it gives us a nice big round AoE. That's cool. Come on, men, do some work. I love the fact that it keeps up the Storm's Eye buff as well these days. Because that was massively infuriating, having to switch out your AoE combo every now and again. I don't have the charge at this level, do I? No. Yeah, so you don't need to worry about, oh, well, I just need to get to this angle so that I can do this and yada yada now. That makes a big difference. I'm going to read some tooltips. Yeah, that does. That's Steel Cyclone. Yeah. Yeah, so they've removed the searchlight things there, which makes sense. If there's only one person in the party that can do it. I assume they haven't got a different version of the dungeon for the NPCs. Ooh. They've still got plenty of trash, though. A technique I honed on my adventures. These are the same guys as we were with earlier on in the game. It's interesting that they are the three that they've chosen to take all the way through. I guess they just feel like they've got the most utility. Warrior really doesn't have much to play with at level 50, does it? Though I suppose no jobs do, really. Yet more trash. Ah, it's so much easier. So much easier being able to pick up enemies like that and not having to try and angle them into the right position. So I need to get them all lined up so I can do my cone. What does that do? That's the single target, yeah. I have put them in these places for a reason. What's this? Is this Hongang? Yes. And that's Berserk. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so Berserk is still guaranteed crits. 3 stacks? Yeah. I've put them in these places for reasons. Okay, the Black Eft has now got some trash straight away. High-powered Magitech Ray. Request assistance. So, gonna summon some ads? Yeah. Whoa. Okay, the Black Eft is not taking much in the way of damage, it has to be said. So I assume there's more to do here. Yeah, I suspect this is a get the ads down fights. Is the Black F going to be taking more damage now? Yeah, it's starting to get chunks. That being said, it's still not taking a lot of damage. But I guess the duty support guys aren't using AoEs? Maybe? Nope. Let's not stand in front of that, shall we? I assume it's now out of reinforcements. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it was going down slow simply because the NPCs split damage with all the ads. But there were a lot of ads in that fight. Demajen, how are you faring? Reached a dead end, you say? I believe I know where you are. There's a disposal chute nearby. Find it and jump in and you'll emerge in a different sector. It's been a long time since I did Castrum. But so far, seems okay. This should take us into the open area, yeah. Should probably focus on the Medicus. Yeah, one thing I'm noting, actually, is that the trash packs are quite large in comparison to what they have been in other dungeons and will be in later dungeons, actually. Must remember, we don't get Beast Gauge with our AoE combo. Okay. So this looks... Yeah, so they've locked off a lot of areas behind these barriers, which is interesting. You can tell the barriers are new, actually, because they look nicer Again, I honestly think they've started implementing some of their new lighting changes. At least they've started relighting the dungeons, shall we say. Yeah, because just look at how that glows. I've no idea whether it's actually the light that is doing the glowing or whether it's just baked in. It's probably baked in illumination. Because it's still an old game engine. Death Claws! Just take a quick look at what's coming up. No, never mind. There's Death Claws here. So this area down here is the refinery bits, where normally we'd have to get stuff from these things. Isn't there normally a boss arena over here? They've made this... And it definitely feels like we're a small elite squad breaking into an enemy stronghold, which is cool. Yeah, normally, wouldn't there be a boss arena kind of here? Oh no, the boss arena is now here. Interesting, because normally you'd have the refinery thing here where you'd have to blow up the cerulean tanks and stuff. So they've really changed this bit. I'm fine with that. It wasn't that I particularly disliked Castrum. It's just that it's... Ooh. That's me not paying attention. Sorry, Serpent Lancer. I'm so used to being able to hold aggro without really thinking about it. Okay, so now we've got the Magitek Vanguard 1 here. Yeah, normally... Oh no, that is the way that we'd normally go, but instead, originally we'd have gone down here and we'd have blown up the cerulean bits. We'd have fought our way through here and screwed up with the pipes there with bombs that we got, and then we'd go right into here, which would normally be guarded by death claws and stuff, but now they've streamlined it by forcing us through the barriers. I just got turned around then. Same boss as previous though, isn't it? Thermobaric Strike. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he's got missile-y things. Oh. Ooh. I can't think. That's a tank buster. I can't think of too many enemies in the game that actually use that particular attack AoE donuts. Oh. I'm really liking the changes that they've made to these dungeons. I can't say that they've made them fresh. But they've taken out, apart from Totorak, which I think is a disaster, frankly. They've taken out some of the little niggly older design choices. I also like the fact that our NPCs are the incidental dialogue that they've got is just, they come across as more confident, you know. For new players who'll get to go through, you know, assuming they don't want to do multiplayer stuff, who go through 1 to 50 with these guys, you know, they'll get to see them grow. Yeah, the fact that Sid is... I don't know whether Sid's talking to us more regularly or what. Okay. So normally... Oh. Do we normally fight a pack here? Have I got any older footage? Because I didn't do these dungeons again because, you know, it would have involved getting an 8-man party together and yada yada yada. Well, I suppose I could have soloed them. I kind of wish I hadn't done the Stone Vigil and Zamile solo. I think that would possibly have made for a better video, but it is what it is. Do we not? Because this is where we run into Sid, or maybe we run into Sid afterwards. Oh no, that all three are still alive. I thought they died. Screwed that up, didn't I? I have 3 Steel Cyclones. Oh, he just exploded. Although, of course, assuming the NPCs follow the same rules as the NPCs in the Tower of Zod, they do percentage. Ah, see, Sid's on the other side now. Hold on, Sid. Are you... Interesting. So what was that side path for? So this is the bit... Ah, that's going to be the final bit of the dungeon. Yeah, so this is where we normally have the airships. And now Sid's doing the field generator stuff. Because this is the room that used to be full of Colossi. Don't know why I've just popped both of my defensive cooldowns then. Ha! You're still stuck with Conal overpower. So this is where we'd fight Livia, normally. Ah, here's the Colossi. Yeah, so no longer do we need to go up the stairs there. In fact, the stairs are blocked off. Yeah, a lot of the things that they've blocked off, you probably wouldn't notice if you were brand new to the dungeon. It's like, oh, well, you know, everything's kind of behind spiky bars, but obviously if you've done the dungeon in its original form, you know what they've done there. Okay, now what's it going to do? Will they? They'll have had to change the cutscene to go with these bits and pieces, won't they? Yeah, so that takes down the whole thing as opposed to just the one. And here's Livia. My lord was quite taken with you in the power you possess, the Echo. Naturally, I could not help but wonder whom this princess among women might be. And to discover that you are but another adventurer, no better than the multitude. Yet in spite of this, the masses hold you their champion and shower honours upon your head. It defies all reason. How is it that you could be such a thorn in our side? Wherever you appear, you leave havoc in your wake. You even slew it out in one of our very finest. Well, I will not speculate. Truth be told, I couldn't care less how you've done these things. What matters to me is the fact that you have done them. If you are allowed to continue, you will eventually deprive me of all that I've toiled for, all that is mine by rights. My minions, my comrades, even my Lord Gaius. Well, you cannot have him. His dreams and ambitions, his body and soul, they are mine. All mine. Unless everything was before, I will not suffer it to happen again. I will kill you, adventurer. Only your death can bring me peace. Now, is it going to put us back behind the fog gates? Or is it going to put us into the fights? One second, folks. Because what is this whole area here now? Do please excuse me. Yeah, see, this is the place that used to have the guns and the rail station, and yeah, all of this has been blocked off with bits and pieces. Wait, what? Oh! That's just the entrance. What, was it always? Huh? Hold on. Castrum Meridianum. Ah, no. Okay. So this is as it normally was. So what they've done is they've lopped off this bit here, which was the cerulean pump station. And actually the bit that I'm thinking of where the train was came off here. It's just been blanked out. That's the train tracks there. So where you'd fight the Colossus Goliathy thing up there, the really slow bits, that's now gone. Okay, that's what was confusing me. Yeah, and in fact, you can tell that they've lopped a bit off because the shape of the map is really lopsided now. I suspect they'll fix that at some points. But everything else is the same. Well, I mean, the shape of these areas is different. Because this used to have two sides. And actually, it would kind of link up there. So and there's a bit chunkier. I'll stick the map up on the screen. Anyway. Yeah, obviously, if you've never done this dungeon before, you're not going to be quite as confused as I am by that section there. Now, obviously, they've massively changed this fight. So she's now got a room-wide AoE. Tank Buster. Infinite Reach. Ooh. Multi-AoEs. No, that was wrong. Okay, that was a cool attack. Obviously, the NPCs don't do damage. While they're moving. Which is why this feels like it's taking longer. Angry Salamander. Yeah, there's a lot of movement in this fight. Yeah, it's taken 30 minutes to get through this dungeon. Although, probably 5 of that was me backtracking. Artificial boost. What's that do? She's got herself a... Oh! We've got a DPS race mechanic right at the end. The mind is the only limit. Nice. I was going to say... Oh yeah, of course I get my poetics, because I've just done it as duty support. I haven't just blitzed through it. Yeah, so... Again, a streamlining of the dungeon, but without losing the flavour of this dungeon, which was, you know, you're going into an enemy fortress. I definitely like the streamlining of the map. That whole section there, where you had to defend Gaius with the waves of ads and fight the Colossus enemy, I don't miss that. I don't miss that at all. The ceruleum blowing up thing, again, happy that we don't necessarily have to do that. It's an interesting shaped dungeon without the extra wings, though. Interesting indeed. Obviously, that final fight, they've removed the gimmick of, you know, trying to blow Livia out of her mech and the loading of the rockets and stuff, which always took a long time. Not that that fight was short, realistically, but yeah. Okay, let's take a look at what they've done to the Praetorium. Bringing up a map of the Praetorium isn't going to happen because it's multi-leveled. Yeah, there's 7 different maps for Praetorium. So let's see what this now includes. How have they split it up? Again, all this stuff interests me. So now the shield is down, we get to fly in. Biggs! Wedge! So, here we are. The ultimate weapon will almost certainly be housed in the depths of the complex. They've done the lighting up here as well. I wonder if the lighting changes are the causes of the weird shadow issues that we're having. This is it, my friend. Bum, ba, bum. Okay, so. Okay. Interesting. So, no more everybody runs for the lift. Oh, it's taken off my... What's it, hasn't it? So you can't just run for the lift. You actually have to fight the trash mobs now. Because Sid is messing with the lift. So that'll take a reasonable chunk of scripting to add in. I mean, I suspect all of these will have taken a chunk of work to do, to be honest. Because they're not insignificant changes. It's not like, oh, they've just blocked off some areas with collision and you can't get through them anymore. Yeah, so that's going to take us down. We're going out the wall. So I guess once this pack's killed, then Sid opens the gate for us there? Maybe? I like this. It's like rediscovering the dungeon. And I'm really not having to do a lot. This is why I came in on tank, actually. So I can just spam my AoE combo and occasionally pop a debuff. Whilst I actually take a look at what they've changed. And realistically, that's why I play tanks anyway. Because I'm lazy. Ah, that blows a hole in the wall. Could do with some showering rubble there. But yeah, these larger trash packs even, because our NPCs don't cast AoEs, it has to rely on that auto DPS function where fights are supposed to take a certain amount of time. So if they're taking too long, the NPCs just end up doing massive damage. It happens at the start of the Tower of Zot with the various people that are with us. Seen some interesting videos of Uriange doing like massive 100k crits and stuff. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, so they've changed this map ever so slightly. This section here used to have the ramp. Now it just takes us down in the lift. Too busy looking at the other monitor. Again, it'll be part of the streamlining efforts, and I'm fine with that. Yeah, so we're going through here, and now we've got a magic transporter. It used to be that there was the ramp down, and then there was the Cermic door here. So this will take us down to where? Yeah, okay, this takes us to the command chamber. Almost the same map as previous. Hello, Gaius. Gaius. Ah, Sid, my boy. You are late. There's something I was meant to tell you. At the time, never seemed right. It concerns your father. What of him? In the winter of his years, Midas came to abhor his part in Meteor. He told me that he wanted nothing more than to wash his hands with the whole sordid business. But he did not wash his hands of it. He helmed the project until the day it killed him. Come now, Sid. You must know that he did not have the luxury of choice. By the time he realized his error, it was too late. Meteor had him completely in its thrall. Shortly before his transformation, perhaps sensing that something was amiss, your father confided to me all the regrets of his life. Most of them concerned you. Early on in your career, he realized that while you had a talent for devising armaments, it would never fulfill you. Long before you knew your own mind, he saw that you would be far happier using your knowledge for peaceful purposes, and the thought touched him. He was a changed man for it. Though he could not let it show. You ripped open walls in this place just so you could say this to me. What is it you want, Gaius? This is new, isn't it? I want you at my side, Sid. Take up your father's mantle and become the Empire's lead engineer. It is your destiny. My father had a change of heart. You said so yourself. Besides, I have long known my destiny, and I assure you it lies not with the Empire. No, actually, this isn't new. Pity. And what of you, adventurer? Will you not consider making common cause with me? With your powers joined to mine, we might do much for this realm. Together we could bring order to Eorzea, Eorzea even, and usher in a lasting peace. I'm too pretty to join you. No? And I can expect no better answer than this. So be it. It was your strength that made me proffer my hand in friendship, and it is your strength that makes me proffer now my blade. Save as an ally, you are too dangerous to be let to remain. Hi! Fighting time! Run, Sid, or stay. Makes no matter, you cannot escape the past. Guys, wait! Damn it. You gonna join us, Sid? Oh, he's gonna stay there. Was there anything changed with this? Yes, it says the battle has been adjusted. Oh, yeah, that's new. Yes, the battle with the Ultima weapon has been removed. The battle with La Habrea has been removed. Extensive changes to general progression. The ability to skip certain cutscenes has been added. Oh, Grand Sword. I can't actually remember what this guy normally does, because these fights tend to be over so fast. Okay, so Sid's coming down with us. Okay, this is new. Okay, so there's no faffing around with acquiring the key and stuff. It's just, either way, it's massively different to what it used to be. Yeah, this has all been... Oh, in fact, they've changed the... I like the fact that our guys are still on foot, but of course, if we weren't doing this with duty support, everybody, I assume, would be able to get a Magitech armor. Does look like it's very flat ground down there. I suppose they're not really expecting us to pay attention. Is there normally a zone line there? Ah, no. It's straight into here, as opposed to having to do the bit inside with the Cermet door. Still got the arms. Okay, again, that's streamlining. Is there a purpose? Why would you ever use Photon Stream? Because this just does more damage. I suppose you need to aim it. Okay, so they've removed one of those. Oh no. They've put them both here. And here's the second, what would originally have been the second Cermet door. Yeah, see, it doesn't do anything faster. I suppose it's one fewer clicks. Yeah. I suppose the change that has been made to getting our armor cuts out a little bit the drama when it wakes up and stuff. Don't mind the warning lights. Why are you nodding, Dema? Sid can't see. Well, maybe Sid can see you. Bzzzt. No. Okay. Good job, Maggie. You're a natural at this. All right, the way's clear, but it's just you and your own 2 feet now, so be careful. Huh. That's... Is that new? A little bit of regret. Huh. Maybe it's not. Again, I don't do this dungeon very often. Right, so this is going to put us onto the... This is the electric fight with Gaius, isn't it? Oh no, Neo. Nero even. You've been leaving a fine mess in your wake. Is someone there? Garland, old friend. How it warms the heart to hear your voice again after all these years. Nero, is that you? You sound well, and it would seem this savage land agrees with you. Highest ranking tribunus of the 14th. It was you all this time? Tell me, Garland, how long do you intend to keep all the glory for yourself? What? You've lost me. Don't play the fool with me. Ever since the academy, I've been condemned to live in your shadow. But by all objective measures, I was the more talented of the two of us, yet that fact counted for naught beside your privileged birth. You admired as the young prodigy simply because your father was the great Midas Nangarland. When you defected, I felt sure my star would finally rise. But by disappearing, you acquired the status of a legend, your reputed genius gaining credence merely by dint of your absence. Instead of cursing you for a traitor, the people actually came to think of you more fondly. This day, you are still the young prodigy of Magitech. I, meanwhile, have ever been made to feel second-rate. I, who continued to serve our nation faithfully. Whenever I fail to excel, why, it is only to be expected, yet when I exceed all reasonable expectations, people proclaim that I walk in the footsteps of the great Sid Nam Bloody Garland. Sound bitter, Nero. Nero, I don't know what to say. It matters not a whit what I achieve. Your existence has rendered mine worthless. Even Lord Van Belsar saw fit to offer you a place at his side, and this in spite of your betrayal. Did he extend any such offer to me, the man who has remained loyal to him for all these years? Why, no, he did not. Long have I endured this injustice, but no more. No more. No more. Lord Van Belsar is in the midst of activating the fully powered Ultima weapon. It is my magnum opus, the creation that will win me the recognition I am due. I will not let anyone interfere. Nero, what are you... Bloop. Ever since I first set foot in this benighted land, I have watched you. Every move you have made, every step you have taken. You have felled icons, a feat made possible by the Echo, a peculiar power which shields you from their corrupting influence. It is of little wonder that my lord has taken an interest in you. As have I, if truth be told. It is my desire to harness your power for use in the Ultima weapon. Whee! Blonk. Should I succeed, Lord Van Belsar will surely take notice. Besides this, Garland's achievements will be as child's play. Come, adventurer, and yield to me the secrets of your power. Through bludgeoning force. Right, I wonder what they've changed here then. Okay, so we're starting off straight away with a tank buster. Clunk. Ow. Okay, so he's got a group up mechanic. Meet one of my creations, you might find it a handful. Ooh, dear lord. Okay, we get a good chunk of time to get out of that. Ooh. So he's going to knock back into the stuff around the edge. Yeah, and then he's got an in and out mechanic. And another hand. Yeah, this all makes perfect sense. Okay. Bye, Nemo. That's much more manageable for a 4-person party. This changes nothing. Was that supposed to represent the lights going on and off? Aha! The ultimate weapon is activated and it brims with the power of icons. Nothing can withstand its might. Are you alright? Nod. In the instant prior to the blackout, the instruments detected a massive power surge from the deepest chamber. Gaius is certain to be there. We have no time to waste. Word arrived from the Alliance a short while ago. It seems the Order of the Twin Adder has completed its blockade of Castrum Sentry. What hands they can spare are hastening this way even as we speak, and likewise for the Maelstrom. All that's left is to destroy the ultimate weapon. I should warn you, the chamber which houses the target appears to be saturated with etheric energies. There's bound to be heavy interference. But even if we lose contact, you must go on. Just don't do anything I wouldn't do, alright? Nod. Okay. So whereabouts are we? Yeah, so they've changed the shape of this map ever so slightly. So normally there'd be the fight with Gaius on the bridge here. It's interesting that they've kept that voiced line. I do feel like they should get the voice lines re-recorded. Maybe they're not quite done with this rework. Maybe they want to see what... Maybe they want to see what kind of feedback people get. On the subject of Gaius...
Tell me, for whom do you fight?
Yes, I'm wondering if they're going to get all of these voice lines re-recorded.
Very glib. And do you believe in Eorzea?
Yeah, that's new. They've added in some extra facial animations.
Its city-states are built on deceit, and its faith is an instrument of deception.
I think. Again, I could be wrong.
Cobweb of lies. To believe in Eorzea is to believe in nothing.
So you keep saying, Gaius.
In Eorzea, the beast tribes often summon gods to fight in their stead, though your comrades only rarely respond in kind. Which is strange, is it not?
Well, no.
12 otherwise engaged. I was given to understand they were your protectors. If you truly believe them your guardians, why do you not repeat the trick that served you so well in Cartano and call them down?
There's a lot more to what happened at Cardno.
They will answer, so long as you lavish them with crystals and gorge them on ether.
But as we've learned in the Mist of the Realm,
Gods are no
it wasn't them.
Those are the beasts, icons, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Except for this, and his fate is bleeding the land dry.
You are allegedly mistaken.
Nor is this unknown to your masters, which prompts the question, why do they cling to these false deities? What drives even men of learning, even the great Louis Soir, to grovel at their feet? The answer? Your masters lack the strength to do otherwise.
Yeah, getting Gaius's... I don't know whether this is voiced by the same guy as the later stuff for Gaius.
To this end, he hath fought ever to
But it would be really nice if they could re-voice act the entirety of Realm Reborn with the current voice actors.
of battle settles. It is ever the strong who dictate the fate of the weak.
Just so the change, especially with people like Alphino from ARR to Heavensward, isn't quite so shocking.
But a single path is open to the infinite ruler. That of false worship. A path which leads to innovation and death.
Is it just me? Was Gaius not as shiny as previous?
Rightly steer the course of civilization. And in this land of
Again, maybe they've got some
one truth will prove
lightings changed. And they still need to update the textures.
Eorzea. Face me. Your defeat shall serve as proof of my readiness to rule.
Ba-ba-da-bum.
Only right that I should take
Bum,
your
bum,
realm.
bum, 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 bum.
Stop me.
You think so, Gaius? The content of the battle with Gaius Van Baelsar has been adjusted. I'm intrigued actually as to what they'll have changed in this fight, because realistically, hurry up, Bella. Okay, that's a room wide. Phantasmata?
Know your place.
I do like the music in this place. Ductus. Oh. Okay, that makes sense.
We shall see when you have finished what you have started.
Yeah, so we got some. Oh, yeah, this again. Oh, with the added bonus of targeted AoE. Horrida Bella. That's the room wide. Okay, this is new. Oh, I'm not out of that. Yeah, so this is a nice... well, I suppose this is the end of the dungeon DPS race, isn't it? Because it has to be. Veni vidi vici. I came, I saw, I did very little damage. And the raid wide again. Go out of here. Yeah. Interesting. And then I assume it would play the cutscene. Yeah, I assume it would play the cutscene when you leave normally. To do stuff. How long did that take? 35 minutes or so. It felt a bit longer still. But and they've still got the ratio, I think, of cutscenes to fight a bit skewed. But they've cut down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so they've cut down the number of maps. And they've definitely streamlined it. Where was the patch notes? Yeah, extensive changes to general progression has been implemented. The ability to skip curtains cutscenes has been added. Yeah, it works. It works. So what then? So Porta Decumana is, I'm assuming... yeah, that. Porta Decumana is going to be the ultimate weapon fights. For 4 players. We may as well just see what it's like. Let's see what's new, fancy, swish and changed in this, since we're doing the series. So here's the ultimate weapon.
Bear witness to the true power of the ultimate weapon.
Yeah, so clearly there'd normally be, you know, if you're doing this for the first time, a cutscene after finishing Praetorium. Right, how much have they changed this? Well, first of all, they've given them little icons. Haha, icon. Icon for the icons. Okay. Ooh. Right, it's still got his... I know, that's Titan doing that. It was probably always Titan doing that, to be fair. Oh, and now the ultimate weapon echoes it, by the look of it. Yeah, this is definitely more involved than it was. Alright, Titan landslide again. Nice work, Thaumaturge. And then this gets mirrored. Oh. Granite interment. Here, feel, think. Thy foe is darkness clad in steel. If thou must triumph, thou must look to the light. Ooh. Oh, interesting. So that's where that mechanic comes in. And that's got rid of Titan. So now it's going to choose one or the other. Okay, we've got a Garuda coming in. Uh-huh. Okay, we've got some elements of the... Ooh. Of the Garuda fights. Yes. This is actually much more involved than the Ultimate Weapon fight has been for a very long time. Yeah, another... Is this going to go down to 50%? Vortex barrier. Okay, this is going to be the same. Okay, we're going to... Once more, Crystal Bearer. Look to the light to vanquish the darkness. Yoink! It kind of does make Hydaelyn feel a bit more powerful, actually. Okay, now for Ifrit. Ow! It's quite a lot of damage. Uh-oh. Okay, so we've got Radiant Plume here. Yeah. Oh. Whee! I am very impressed with these changes. I think these are making for a good four-man fight, frankly. It's certainly a longer and more involved fight than it has been in a very long time. And of course, the fact that you get to do it separately, as opposed to having to go through the entirety of Praetorium. Oh. Mama Hydaelyn. Pray to the crystal with all thy being. Your fervent hope shines forth the lights. That's not what you said. Oh?
But the ultimate weapon is all powerful.
Okay.
The enemy still stands.
So at 20-ish%,
It is the blessing of light that confounds you.
Hello, Lahabed. Wom. Howdy, mate.
Your foe acts under the protection of the crystal she bears.
Less that, more...
So, this is what empowers her.
Not really. But it's, I suppose it's kind of a fake out.
Limits. If you are to prevail, the hammer of darkness must needs be brought to bear upon the shield of light. And so it shall, for the Ultima weapon is host to a power of which you are as yet ignorant.
The heart of Sabik.
Speak plainly, Ascian.
The heart of Sabik. It is the weapon's core.
I really would have liked more information about the heart of Sabik.
Scholars of ancient Alleg failed to scratch.
Yeah, we've got a lot of shadow banding.
Within has lain
And in fact, shadows flickering all over the place. I wonder if this is because they're starting to implement their lighting engine, but haven't finalized it.
spell without parallel. Ultima.
Maybe some changes have slipped in that they didn't mean to. Also, why has Thancred's hair not been updated by the mod?
For no other reason but to quicken the core. For the true power of the Ultima weapon lies within its now beating heart.
Uh-huh.
Lahabrea, what have you done?
Also, the eye glow looks weird.
Necessary for my god to be reborn.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
The hour is at hand. Behold but a sliver of my god's power.
So, Ultima is linked to Zodiac. And... Nuke.
From the deepest pit of the seven hells to the very pinnacle of the heavens, the world shall tremble. Unleash Ultima!
Yeah, there's some weird issues with the alpha on my ears that keeps flickering. It's very odd. My eyes. Everything is screwed. Such devastation.
Devastation! This was not my intention!
Oh, Heidelin, it seems the task of keeping your champion alive has exhausted what strength you had left.
Well, she's keeping some in reserve for later.
Belsar, your enemy's shield is broken. The rest I leave to you.
We will speak later.
What was the green thing that just skimmed across there?
But first, I must deal with you. The question of who is mightier remains.
Uh-huh.
Come, adventurer.
Yeah, that green thing that swept across the screen. What is it? Ah, one of the best pieces of music in ARR. Okay, have they changed this? Okay, he's firing off his lasers much more than normal. Now he's got a targeted AoE. Tank Purge is going to be his room wide. Still, yeah. Etheric Boom. This is new. Oh. That's a leash mechanic. Was that a stack mechanic that I missed? I couldn't see an Ultima's thick ass. Oh, that's new, isn't it? Yeah, that's new. It's probably not. I really don't pay a huge amount of attention when I was doing the roulette for these. I mean, who was, frankly? Most people switched off during these fights. Everybody in the middle. Citadel Buster. Okay, probably didn't want to stand in the middle of that. Oh, there was a... Sorry, guys. That's my fault. I was listening to the music, to be honest. Are we still going to have to fight Lahabred after this? Lasers. 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 Oh, jeez. Uh-oh. Oh, that's a little bit more involved. Cool. Homing laser. And tank purge again. Uh-huh. Alright, and Citadel Buster, which we don't want to be in the way of. It's interesting that that does not have an AoE on it. Like an indicator. Again, with a group of player allies, this will go faster because the NPCs cannot DPS while moving. Whereas pretty much all of us can. But just as a look at what they've done... Yeah, that combination of mechanics isn't actually particularly difficult to avoid, but it's involved. It makes you do something. Oh, here we go. Ultima. DPS race. I screwed that up. Permit not the manifestation of that vile magic, lest darkness prevail. Ooh. Bathe in the light of the mother crystal. That just makes sure that we actually get it done. You cannot carry any more tomestones of poetics. Okay, so Porta Decumana is just the Ultima weapon fight. In that case, is the La Brea fight a solo instance, a solo duty? I guess it must be. That was more involved than it has been, and I appreciated that. I appreciated that a great deal. Let's just quickly... No, that's not that. I guess then that the fight versus La Brea must be a solo duty, which unfortunately I can't have a go at. Mind you, I mean it would make sense that it was a solo duty because realistically, it was a cakewalk in the raid. You know, it was a kind of an aftermath thing where it's like, yeah, we'll just wail on him for a bit. But overall, I think I'm fairly pleased with those changes. You know, ability to skip certain cutscenes, change in player size. The bosses have all been fiddled with ever so slightly, or just redone in the case of the Ultima Weapon first phase. And it's taken, what, an hour and a half to do both with duty support, whereas before it would have taken... I mean, it took 45 minutes to an hour to do the Praetorium, realistically. Was it the Praetorium, was it Castrum that was the shorter of the two in the end? Whichever, they're both roughly of equal length now. And the fact they've split it into 3 and taken the Ultima Weapon fight off the end. Does Ultima Weapon show up in the duty roulettes? Yeah, see, it can take you to one of the 3. I imagine Porta Decumana is still the shortest, but the reason Castrum and Praetorium are long, well, they're not long, but feel long-ish, is because you NPCs are incapable of AoEing. Fulfill the requirements for 2 or more duties. Roll on. Yeah. Yeah, I'm reasonably pleased with those changes. I think it would certainly mean that I would use, and I'm sure the actual XP reward for main scenario has been changed. Still 350. It used to be 300, didn't it? Have they upped it? I think they've upped it. It used to be 300 tomestones of poetics. Now it's 350. So it's worth your time doing if you need poetics for stuff. And it just said that I'm capped out, didn't it, on poetics? So I'm going to go and spend some of those. And certainly, if you hadn't realised, you can now click on the little currency thing there to select whatever currency you want to see, which is quite nice. I like having the ability to track the gemstones for when I'm fate farming. But yeah, that's cool. That's very cool. And so next time, folks, this has been Demajen taking a look at the level 50 quote-unquote end of MSQ contents. At least the reworks of such. Good changes, streamline the process. Obviously, doing them all back-to-back in an hour and a half like I've done, the only people that are likely to be doing that are people that are interested in the changes, such as you guys, but also people that are going to be running the MSQ for the very first time. I think an hour and a half for that is a good stretch of time, and it was a good end game challenge, even with the duty support system. Good stuff. Thank you very much for watching, folks. If you have enjoyed this content, do leave it a like. Subscribe for more FF14 stuff. There will be some coming. And I'll catch you all in the next video, whatever that may be. Stay safe and cheerio. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.